All right. So we're gonna go ahead and record for um Strikeadversity. And today I have a guest, and her name is Lizeth Cruz. And we're gonna be talking about moving forward with projects. So I'm pretty excited for this because as mothers, we tend to sometimes not want to do projects that we should be doing when we should be doing them, and we get stuck behind in our projects. So I'm pretty excited to be doing this podcast with her, and we're gonna move forward. So Liz, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. One of my few questions is, being a busy mother of 3 boys, how do you find time to listen to a podcast yourself?
Well, honestly, I'm not just a busy mother of 3 boys.
Right.
I'm a busy nanny and busy housekeeper.
Right.
So, my time that I find to listen to the podcast is when I'm cleaning as a
Right.
housekeeper. So I have a lot of free time to listen to them. So I just concentrate, get in my little stories, and it's pretty much between 1 to 2 hours a day that I listen.
All right. And what are your thoughts, and like, what is this time that you take to listen to the podcast mean to you?
Honestly, it's the time I take to learn. I think first of all is to learn to educate myself into breaking the patterns, breaking the generational patterns. So it's time to educate myself and learn new stuff, that the way I grew up and the way I saw my mother, my grandma, whatever, like treat their kids, treat their family members. I didn't like that. So it's a way to grow up for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for me, it's something that we're able to now pass on to other generations. I mean, there's a lot of big generations, but at the end of the day, and I'm just gonna put it closer to you so that way we can see you on here too.
Okay, I think I can get closer.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's something that we're able to share with people and bring on to new moms that are out there. And I never told everybody my full story, but I'll go ahead and share now. My full story lately has been, I heard something from the lady from Spanx. So when I heard the lady from Spanx say that she was in the closet, and she was creating her podcast when her kid was going crazy in the background and things like that. And to me, that was pretty special because I said, if she could do it, I could do it. And I was just driving. So as I was driving, I was able to hear that story, and then impacted me. And then now I was able to do a podcast, and little by little, I'm still learning to grow. And I think it's something that we all could do.
Yeah.
And talking about projects and moving forward, Liz, I wanted for you to tell us the good news and tell us how you're able to share the good news about your podcast.
Yeah.
What you have coming up.
Podcast is coming up, working on it. It's, I'm sweating from all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. And honestly, I have to give, I use honestly a lot because I want to be super honest, but I have to give credit to one of my employer. I used to nanny for her and babysit, who's Lindsay. She is the creator of Expressing Motherhood. She's the first person who introduced me to the world of, sharing your stories, and because I had never heard of it. So she's the one that introduced me to Expressing Motherhood first of all. And she told me, this is what I have. This is my project. If you want to share a story, you're welcome to. So that was my first, like the person who opened the door for me.
Right.
So I had always had conversation with her, like, oh, I want to talk about, my stories, my background, like things like I want to share. And she pushed me, she really pushed me so hard, pretty much held my hand and be like, Liz, you have to do it. You should do a blog. So she is the one that really threw me out the door and be like, okay, Liz, your podcast, you have to do it. So credits to Lindsay and Expressing Motherhood. And it's my podcast, which is No Hablemos de Eso, is in collaboration with Expressing Motherhood. So I really do need to give thanks to Lindsay for pushing me, because I think we do need people like that in our lives that can push us. Like when we have a dream, I feel like we have a lot out there that say, no, don't do it, push you back rather than throw you and throw you to the world and be like, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know,
There's always going to be those people, those negative people that are going to give you that feedback of maybe it's not for you.
maybe it's not for, and I think there's more of those than the ones that are going to open the door for you and welcome you to be like, you can do it. You know, I want to consider myself, or I used to be that person, be like, you know, I would always find the negative, like maybe it's too hard, like don't try it or hold back. I've changed so much because of the people I surround with. So I'm like, it's really nice to say, even if you have a little doubt, like it's scary, like maybe you shouldn't try it. Don't say that to the person, you know, let them try it. And if it goes well, like, you know, applaud them. And if it goes bad, like, okay,
What's it try?
Yeah, you tried it, you know? So yeah, that's what we need. And she, you know, she helped me, and you're here and you're helping me, and you're like, yeah, Liz, you can do it. And
Because you could do it. And I like I mentioned to you earlier, it's something that, you know, we're doing it from her house. We're doing it from Zoom. We're doing it on live IG. And then we have different ways of learning. We don't have all the equipment, all the things other pros do. But the point here is to leave that message out for the people that need it, like we did, like how we found it, and to encourage each other, because at the end of the day, that's all we have.
yeah.
Now having this new platform for yourself and making it your new purpose and playground, how excited are you to record your first one, and when should be expected?
I am super excited. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh, you know what? I like to talk and I like to say my word, but I'm holding back again. You know, I still like, I have like, I'm not, it's not scared, but it's like, okay, I'm holding back. I have the project in my mind. I have it set, but I'm like, when am I going to start? Like, when am I actually, I'm a very busy mom. Once again, you said it already, 3
Yes.
kids, nanny, housekeeper, but you know, I can always find that space. But I think I have a little fear in me, like, okay, where do I start? I mean, I know I started somewhere, but how do I start recording? So I have that little fear that I know I can jump that step and take that step. So I'm hoping sometime mid-May, you know, I want to set a date, like Lindsay always told me, like, you need to set a date, because if you keep saying,
Launch date.
you know, yeah, set a date, because if you don't set a date, it's never going to happen. So I'm aiming for mid-May.
Okay, this is awesome. And we'll be sharing more, guys, about her podcast and what it means for people and what it is for. I know so far it's for community and culture, and many of you guys would like to share that. You go ahead and share it when I share it, but I'll be definitely sharing it in my stories. Now, what is your vision on long-term projects moving forward?
My vision on long-term projects. I guess my vision on long-term projects is just, you know, I guess a simple question. It's just reaching the goal, and what is it? You know, my English is somewhat good, but I have a better word in Spanish.
Say it.
So it's reaching your goal y enseñarle a los demás que se puede, y enseñarle a los demás. Es eso, simplemente llegar a la meta y encourage a alguien más a que dices, yo creo que ese es mi main goal, llegar a la meta y demostrarle y enseñarle a los demás que sí se puede.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. So now I wanted to give advice on some great ideas. I'm very blessed to have Liz come with us, especially that she's about to launch, and that's amazing, right? We're gonna be part of that launch with her, Lindsay, and what they have going on for Liz, and I'm very happy for her. But I would like to say, like, sometimes as mothers, and this is not just aiming for mothers, maybe there's people, guys out there that it could relate to you, but sometimes we put projects to the side because we give ourselves excuses that we're too busy. What we're doing is not putting a priority. We're not putting the time and the effort, and we just find an excuse of saying we're busy as an excuse to not start it. So my only advice is the person that procrastinates all the time and started doing more towards my targets, toward my project. And the point of this podcast is to move forward with your projects. Is let's start let's start putting the things forward on what we want to do, putting the projects as a priority, making sure that we're able to target certain timelines, and making sure we say it out loud, because sometimes we feel like we can't say it out loud. We're afraid of what anybody will think, people's comments, what is my cousin gonna do, my tia, it doesn't matter who it is. You just try to express yourself and moving forward, doing with your project. So I just want to say, go ahead, and I'm gonna have Liz share her podcast Instagram.
That is No Hablemos de Eso. No is double O. So No Hablemos de Eso.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram as of now. It's just Instagram. I'm gonna move forward on, maybe being on other social medias, but Instagram for now. Little steps.
Let's do it. And for me, you can find me on my Instagram, my first and last name. So it is Ruth Science, and I'm gonna go ahead and say my last name because it is not science like scientific. It is SAENZ as in zebra. And you'll be able to follow me. I'm able to go ahead and communicate with you. My Instagram is the best way to communicate with me. And we're able to just share on what our community needs and what you guys want. So again, thank you for joining us. And this has been a pleasure. And this is Strikeadversity. Bye.